Welcome to Life Coaching Access, your daily access with professional certified life coaches brought to you by the Life Coach Philippines. Life Coach Philippines is our community of professional life coaches certified by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, a bona fide institute for mental health that is based in Dallas, Texas, USA. Life Coaching Access is our service to the community, and we aim to help individuals experience the process of transformation through the platform of life coaching. So, if you want to know more about our international coaching classes and services, please contact or connect with Coach Rizel at 0917-586-1661 for assistance. I am Coach Tin de Joya for Relationlift, rebuilding from broken trust and boundaries. Your access with me is every Monday at 3 p.m. So that's every Monday. Take note of that in your calendars. For my segment today, I will be sharing building a rock solid relationship. So please tag your friends in the comment below and invite them to join our conversation. You might you may also share this FB Live to your timeline and FB groups and pages so that we can reach more people and help transform lives. So let me first introduce myself. I am Coach Tin de Joya, the better half of the man from Pasig City. Yes, you hear it right. You would always hear that statement whenever you introduce yourself. So I am married to Coach Sean, and I am a mother of two teenage kids, and I am now a full-time life coach. I previously worked in the corporate for more than a decade until I decided last year to quit and respond to my purpose. I'm going to be talking about your relationship, marriage specifically. As we often know, they say marriage is an institution. And if you think about it, an institution is defined as a society or an organization founded for a religious, educational, social, or similar purpose. And as we were taught in school, the family is a unit of society. So, marriage, as we always hear it from our adult counterparts or the elders from the community, from the people we talk to, especially in the church, they would always say that marriage is an institution founded on the purpose of building a family. And any any institution needs a foundation. It needs strong pillars that could withstand the test of time, the weather, or any calamities. So just like marriage being considered an institution, it's really important that we know what foundations we have for a marriage. So if you are someone who is in a relationship, you're married, you might write down the comment below and write down what you think is the foundation of a good relationship, or how can you make it a rock solid relationship. So what is really a rock solid relationship? Just like a rock known for its hardness, despite being beaten by the harsh weather, it is how we want our relationships to be. Di ba, when we enter into a relationship, di naman talaga tayo nag-start na masaya agad. Or masaya sa una, but as the days progress, as the years progress, minsan hindi masaya. Kaya lang, as when we start a relationship, what we always see is, masaya siguro pag may boyfriend ka hanggang sa naging asawa mo, masaya siguro. So, yes, it is. It's possible to really have a happy relationship. But just like anything that we want in life, you really need to take time and effort. And of course, you really have to work hard for it. So, when we begin a relationship, we usually discover that there are a lot of things that we have to know about our partners, about ourselves as well. Kasi dun mo marirealize na may madidiscover ka din sa sarili mo when you are in when you are already journeying in the relationship. So mostly what you do first is you discover what your similarities are, what are the likes of the other person. Dun usually nagre-revolve yung relationship. And as it continue to blossom, it would be best to ensure that you're creating the relationship on a rock solid foundation that is going to withstand any problems that will occur in the relationship. When the relationship is built on a strong foundation, you and your spouse will have what it takes to master life's problems and experience happiness as a couple. So it takes time, effort, and dedication. So for everyone out there who's watching me today, you can, especially if you're married, what you can do is really take time to reflect of how your relationship is now, and what are the things that you have encountered that had helped the relationship grow stronger through the years. And if you are single, it's okay. At least you will have a backdrop of how you can start a good relationship. Kasi di ba when pag dumadating ka sa point na, of course, you wanna have a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, syempre hindi mo naman nakita na, ay, hindi yan yung mapapangasawa ko, hindi ka naman nag-iisip ng ganun, di ba? Usually, when we have a boyfriend, madalas dumadating ka sa point na, syempre, siya na yung gusto mong mapangasawa. Seldom ka sigurong makakakita ng someone. Well, I for one, there was a certain period in my time, siguro, lang talaga ako nun, hindi ako aware on what relationships are, or siguro no one has been guiding me, or I just want to do what I want. So I was on a rebellious state. So it's more of me just having a relationship, but I really didn't see myself na siya yung mapapangasawa. So may ganun ako. Pero di ba kung if you will be able to start afresh, and you will really be able to make that really intentional decision to have a good relationship. Syempre, mas gusto mo na kung sino man yung maging boyfriend mo, siya na yung mapangasawa mo. So, pipili ka ng tama. So, my talk today hopes to really help everyone out there. If you're married and you're journeying in the marriage, my talk, of course, I hope my talk will help you on really see where you are now at your relationship and how you can make it better. And if you're single naman, maybe you could see this as a time to reflect on what kind of relationship you would like to have in the future. So remember, it takes effort and dedication, and building a relationship has to meet the needs of both partners that satisfy the emotional, physical, and psychological level. So what you see bricks. Di ba when we talk about foundation, especially in the old times, ang madalas na ginagamit doon ay really bricks, because of the hardness, the strength of the rocks. So pag nakita mo yung mga churches noon, they are really built of stones. So just like in your relationship, syempre, what we wanna see is a relationship that is really strong, that would really stand the test of time. So how do you build a rock-solid relationship? Kasi pag sinabi mong foundation means building blocks to a fulfilling relationship and outcome. So it creates the basis of understanding, where you're able to hear and listen to each other, the trust, you're able to accept the person, respect, compassion, empathy, vision. Of course, you need to really have a common goal where you can anchor your relationship. And then partnership. Remember, marriage is a team. The grace is the simple elegance. The elegance to be together, whatever the trials that comes. And of course, forgiveness. It's also an important building block because if you don't know how to forgive, it will be hard to keep the relationship. However, you need to journey and know where you are now in your relationship and how you can bridge the gap to be able to build the rock solid relationship that could weather all storms of life. Ang relationship kasi, madili kasi magpakasal. Pag may boyfriend ka at naisipan yung magpakasal, madali lang yun eh. But really keeping the relationship in the long term is something that you really have to work on. Ang dami ko ngang realizations during the marriage eh. Parang hindi pala siya ganun kadali. It's not a bed of roses wherein masaya ka lang every day. And it's not also romance lang na lahat lang kilig. Hindi pala ganun ang marriage. So, yes, you can comment below what are your experiences when you're started. Sometimes it's fun to really go back to remember how you started. It brings back the kilig factor. But sabi ko nga, hindi lang talaga lahat kilig ang marriage eh. And every relationship, just like life, we really have a direction. And sometimes the direction that we have, we use the vision board or we have a vision that we can use. So sa relationship, there is also what we call a roadmap. So what is your relationship roadmap? When a couple is in a committed relationship that has a strong foundation, they rely on a common map. Even if the road is bumpy and rocky, they are able to make a decision to stay together during the difficult times. So, do you know your roadmap? Kung ikaw ay nasa isang relasyon, kung ikaw ay may asawa or may boyfriend, do you know your roadmap? What stage is your relationship now? And if you're married, how deep is the relationship? Or how deep is the foundation of the relationship? Marriage kasi is really more of a journey for me. I think based on our experience, it's a journey. And sabi nga nila, love is about passion, sacrifice. The way when Christ died, di ba, parang he sacrificed. And kaya nga siya tinawag na passion of the cross. So marriage is also like that. Don't get me wrong, hindi ko tinatakot yung mga gusto pang mag-asawa. Ano lang siya, it's really more of, because you have to sacrifice something to be able to gain something better. Remember, when you enter into a relationship, hindi lang naman kayong dalawa yung naisip nyo na, hindi, tayong dalawang till the end. Of course, when you enter the marriage, you also think about having kids. So, when there is already a kid or may anak na kayo dun sa scenario, syempre hindi pwedeng basta mo lang itatapon at wala kang gagawin just to keep the relationship going, di ba? Kumbaga, it has to take both of your effort together and the dedication to really make the relationship work. So I think it's important to know, paano ba dumadating sa ang relationship na nagiging strong? How does it gain a solid foundation? How can you make into a rock solid relationship? I think it's important for us to know what is the stage of the relationship. According to research nga, if you're familiar with John Gottman, he's a well-known American psychologist who really studies the behaviors, and he specializes on divorce of couples. So, he said na may cycle talaga yung relationship. And come to think of it, even if boyfriend-girlfriend lang kayo, and then you get married, may pinagdadaanan talagang stage ang relationship. And if you are aware of the stage that you are in, mas madaling ayusin or mas maganda na you will both have that opportunity to really take a look at the relationship on different perspective and really talk about it if you wanna continue it, or I mean you wanna keep it or you wanna call it quits. Pero I am not talking about calling it quits because I am an advocate of families. I really do not commit, or I do not help you, or I do not help couples, especially married women. I do not help them to get off from the relationship, especially if they're married. Except, of course, if siguro may physical abuse, of course, what's important is the life of the person. But I'm an advocate of families. It's more of connecting disconnected families. Kasi in the end, children suffer when the marriage is not really working. So let's go back to the stages of relationship. Ano ba kasi yung stages ng relationship at bakit siya dumadating sa ganung point? And ano ba yung mga pwede nating gawin para pag nandun ka na sa stage ng relationship na yon, you would be able to think of something to really make it work. So, the 5 stages of relationship, of course, tada, this is what we call the romantic stage. Ito yung mga moment na, na in love ka pa lang. Na pag nakita mo siya, ano ba yun? First love, di na makakain, di na makatulog. Meron bang ganon? Sino ba naka-experience ng ma-in love at hindi nakakain at di nakatulog? Siguro naman lahat tayo naman sa ganun, di ba? And of course, when you're in that stage, of course, the romantic stage really begins when you fall in love. Pero, sabi nga nila, it can only last up to 2 years and then ends quickly as it began. Bakit ba? I think I remember, I think when we attended one of the coaching class of Master Coach A, the relationship coaching, she mentioned there na sa human nature kasi really is very, parang in prehistoric times, if we think about the difference of a man and a woman, nung prehistoric times, men are really hunters. So what they do is go out and hunt and provide for the family, while the women are the gatherers. So sa prehistoric time, and if you think about it, kahit naman ngayon, minsan bumabalik pa din sa basic instinct ng survival ang tao. So, there are times that after wala na kasi dito yung mga oxytocin level, tama ba yung pronunciation ko? Yung mga pangpahay na hormones, the happy hormones that we have, minsan dito bumababa na yung level nun. So, sometimes parang nawawala na yung excitement. Kaya at times, the relationship lasts up to 2 years lang. The maximum nga is 3 years and they would again look for another. Kasi yun talaga ang human nature. Aminin man natin, masakit man, but it is. But what can we really do to keep that relationship? Especially kung married na kayo, hindi naman pwedeng after 2 years or after 3 years, we call it quits kasi hindi na exciting yung relationship. So this is, minsan kasi, sabi nila, madalas daw kasi pag nag-aasawa tayo, andun pa lang sa romantic stage. Yung infatuation pa lang ang nararamdaman. Ang sabi nga nila, so what is really infatuation? If you look at infatuation, it is defined as a foolish or extravagant love or admiration. So foolish, it's foolish. So hindi pa talaga siya yung totoong love. Sabi, we only see in the romantic stage, we experience love on its immature form, infatuation. We only see our partner's light side. It's common, love is blind. Ito yung stage na yon, love is blind. We think that the person we love has no flaws and it's you and me against the world ang peg natin dito. You think you're both strong enough to withstand the challenges of life, and you're not willing to risk anything or really talk about difficult situation. So in this stage, very common ang rejection. Because when you already talk about the relationship on a deeper perspective, dumadating yung point na, alam ko narinig nyo na to, yung iba talaga sa inyo narinig na to, yung pag na-realize yung something is wrong in the relationship, you would often hear someone say, I need space. Hindi ka naman nga astronaut pero gusto mo ng space. O kaya, it's not you, it's me. Kasi tapos na yung stage na you complete me, tapos na yun. So, ito na yung madalas mong marinig. At madalas siya dito sa romantic stage. So, kung nandun ka sa stage na yun, what is it that you can do to make that relationship working? So, the romantic stage is not really a good time to get married. Sometimes talaga, madalas, in this stage pa lang, minsan feeling mo yun na yun eh. Gusto mo na talaga magpakasal agad. Or, minsan, parehas naman kayo, it takes two to tango. So, minsan, dun pa lang sa stage na yon, minsan naiisip nyo na, sige, magpakasal na tayo kasi, love naman natin yung isa't isa. But when the intricacies of marriage comes in, especially pag may trials na, nawawala yun. So, it's really important that you're able to overcome this stage. The second stage is what we call, di po sila nag-aaway lang. It's the power struggle stage. In the power struggle stage, usually the divorce or separation happens here, which is the 3 to 4 year mark. So pag nalampasan nyo yung first 2 years, yung 3 to 4 years, it's also something that you have to, dito na madalas yung away. Nalampasan nyo nga, pero madalas din kayong mag-away. Kaya siya power struggle. Because it is a painful time wherein the illusion of romantic love that lasts fades. Nawawala na dito yung hindi pala kayang mag-last ang romantic love lang. And one partner withdraws while the other pursues. So usually in this stage, the feelings of disappointment and anger replaces love. What we only see is the differences and the flaws. You want to change your partner. Madalas to eh, I want to change my partner. Ba't hindi ka nagbabago? Parang nasabi ko din ba to? Parang may naririnig ko lang. Sabi ko talaga ako to eh. Pero wala na pa ako sa stage na to. And sabi mo nga, you want to change your partner and back into the original person you hope they were nung nakilala mo siya. Or sometimes, you punish them for not being that way pag hindi bumabalik sa dati. So one partner starts shutting down their hearts and pulls away to get some space. Continuation to ng it's not me, it's you, or I want space. And the other partner naman pursues and demands more attention. Parang lagi kang si, monitor, taga-check. Asan ka na? Anong oras ka uuwi? Sino kasama mo? Yan, dito yun nangyayari. If you're in this stage, that means one of you is trying to establish autonomy in the relationship. So, ibig sabihin, you have, parang at this stage, you are trying to determine who must be in control of the relationship. Sino ba yung nasusunod? Yung babae ba o yung lalaki? So that's the power struggle stage. But of course, you can establish autonomy without destroying the relationship or destroying the bond that the two of you have. So how long does this stage last? Unfortunately, even in research, it says it depends. It depends on the partners. It depends on the willingness to embrace change or the influences of your childhood that you want to let go, and the quality of relationship or advices that you receive. Kasi dito yung stage na minsan, you are looking for confidence in the relationship. So pag mali yung kausap mo, mali din talaga yung marireceive mo na advice. So it's sometimes this is the stage that breaks or make the relationship. So it's either you break up or you survive by sacrifice and compromise and work for it together. Pero pag nalampasan mo naman tong stage na to, what comes next is the stability stage. In the stability stage, it is a period of relative peace. Medyo maganda na yung pag-uusap nyo dito, although it's still a work in progress. It becomes clear that you can never succeed changing a person. Dito medyo nare-realize mo na hindi mo pala talaga mababago ang isang tao unless the person willingly changes. Minsan kasi, di ba, sinasabi natin, hindi kasi siya nagbabago. But the good question to us is really, what change have you made in yourself? Kasi pag ikaw muna yung unang nag-change, something will also change. A good example would be, di ba kung madalas mag-away, kunwari, madalas umiinom yung partner, especially sa husband and wife, di ba? Madalas umiinom yung partner, nasa labas, yung guy, tapos yung babae na iwan sa bahay. Minsan yun yung complaint. Kasi ang nangyayari sa atin, as women, we become the wife and we become a mom to our kids. Now, the problem is at times we lose our identity. Parang nakadepend na tayo sa partner natin. So, minsan nawawala na nga tayo ng friends at this stage sa relationship. Minsan, kahit pwede namang lumabas, ayaw mong lumabas kasi nakafocus ka on the relationship, on the partner. But, come to think of it, madalas din natin sabihin na, dapat kasi yung husband ko na lang yung friend ko. Dapat ako din yung friend niya. Siya na nga lang yung friend ko eh. Pero naalala ko dun sa coaching class ni Master Coach sa relationship coaching, sinabi niya, so, binaba mo yung sarili mo from a wife to a friend. Ano ba taga gusto mo? Kaya minsan, litong-lito din yung mga partners natin or our husband. Kasi hindi niya alam kung friend ba siya or asawa siya. Sa alin ba talaga? So, in this stage, it becomes clear now to you that when you want to change a person, you also have to acknowledge that you have to change. You have to do something about you. Kasi hindi talaga pwede na pipilitin mo na i-change yung isang tao, pero ikaw wala ka ding ginagawang change sa sarili mo. It takes two to tango. Favorite ko talagang sabihin yun. Because it's always you can only respond to what you cannot control everything. You can just respond to it. And of course, gusto mo mag-change yung tao, but at times you also have to make some necessary changes so that the person will see the change in you and the person will initiate or siya mismo yung gagawa ng way to change himself as well. In this stage, of course, you also learn how you are both okay that you are different. You already acknowledge na in this stage, kailangan taga may friends din siya at may set of friends ka din. And you are two different persons. You have different hobbies. But it doesn't mean na hindi na kayo pwedeng magkaroon ng common hobby. Pwede pa din naman. Because at the end of the day, it's the two of you. But you just need to work things out. But you need to be mindful not to get stuck in this stage. Kasi when you are stuck in the stability stage, too much peace and instability can lead to boredom. Kailangan pa din talaga ng spice ng relationship. Remember that all growth requires change and getting outside of your comfort zone. So you can keep growing together by consciously creating new shared experiences. Yun talaga yun eh. It's not about kasi minsan when let's say sa case ko, 'di ba? Uso yung husband ko dati mahilig lumabas. Dumadating talaga sila sa ganung stage. And knowing what you can do and how you can change atmosphere in the relationship when it comes home, it helps in changing his perspective or changing his behavior din. Sometimes kasi ano siya it's more of, kung halimbawa, madalas siyang nasa labas, minsan gusto natin, ayaw natin siyang palabasin, ayaw natin siyang uminom sa labas, gusto niyo nasa bahay. But there are some needs of men that they have to talk to another man, hindi pwedeng asawa. Mahirap talaga yon. Dumaan din ako sa ganong stage. And parang, dati iniisip ko, bakit ako nga, okay lang na wala ng friends eh. Tapos ikaw gusto mo may friends ka. Dapat ako lang yung friend mo. Dumaan din ako sa ganun. Pero, when you grow older and ang siguro ang naging value lang sa amin is we were able to really listen to each other and accept that we have differences. And when we became life coaches, mas naging madali, hindi naman naging madali. Paano ba? Madali na mahirap. Madali because there are people helping us to process our thoughts, our emotions. Hindi din madali kasi sometimes mahirap talagang bitawan yung mindset. But it helps to talk to some people na tama yung pag-process ng thoughts mo, hindi yung tagagatong. Minsan kasi may mga friends tayong tagagatong. That's why you also have to choose the relationship outside of your marriage. Kasi sometimes, are they really helping you in the relationship or not? So for that stage, in this stage, the stability stage, you can keep growing together by consciously creating new shared experiences. So the two of you are different individuals. Yes, and it's okay that the both of you have different goals. But what's good about the stability stage is you have acknowledged the differences, yet you are willing to work together to reach a common goal. So the next stage, this is now the commitment stage. When I say commitment, it doesn't really necessarily mean magpapakasal na kayo. But this stage kasi is usually the stage wherein you realize that you want to keep the relationship and really go through marriage. But for example, if you're already married, what happens when you are in the commitment stage? Here in the commitment stage, it's really more of you surrender to the reality that you and your partner are human and that your relationship has shortcomings. So, may flaws talaga ang relationship. No relationship is perfect. Wala nga perfecto sa mundo. Minsan lang talaga, matigas lang ulo natin na gusto natin maging perfect lahat, pati relationship. So, in this stage, you surrender to the reality na may flaws talaga in relationship and yet you are willing to accept it. Then, you learn to love each other by having to like each other. So, loving and liking, may certain degree of difference ang like and love. Minsan kasi, lang siya, pag like mo, it doesn't necessarily mean na love mo. But pag love naman, para bang mas malalim na pag love mo, like mo din. But in this stage, of course, what you do is, you choose each other consciously. So you really made the choice and intentionally be with your partner. And then, you start to experience a beautiful balance of love, belonging, fun, power, and freedom. So it's really more of acknowledging and accepting that each of you has flaws, but consciously choosing to be together. You are able to say, I like this part. I don't need you. I choose you. Knowing all I know about you, good and bad. Di ba, pag narinig mo yun, may difference. Kasi when you say, I need you, you just need the person pag you are getting an advantage. Madalas yun. In any relationship, pag sinabi mo, I need you, pero may naka-attach na condition yun eh. I need you because you can fulfill this, you are to be like this. But when you say, I don't need you, I choose you, knowing all I know about you, good and bad. It changes your perspective. Dumadating ka sa point na, yes, pwede man siyang magkamali, but you still choose to accept. So this is where you experience a beautiful balance of love. So this is the stage where you're actually, if you're not married yet, this is the stage where you are ready to be married. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, mas madalas, dun pa lang sa romantic stage tayo nagde-decide na gusto mo nang magpakasal. But this is the right stage for you to really commit into the relationship and get married. But if you are already married, this is now the time to commit na you get deeper into the relationship and you intentionally really do things together and really choose to be consciously be with each other. And of course, the final stage, it's the bliss or co-creation stage. If this is dun sa coaching, sa relationship coaching with Master Coach, this is the enlightened relationship stage. In this stage, you learned love is not infatuation. Love is not power. Love is not stability because love can never be stable. Love is not commitment. Nag-isip kayo, no? Love is not commitment. Iba kasi yung concept natin minsan ng commitment. And you will know why that in this stage, love is not commitment. So, you do share creative work that is intended to make the world a better place. Nalagpasan nyo na kasi yung mga romantic stage, the power struggle stage. Nalagpasan nyo na yun eh. And this is also the stage where you are both naturally called to give back to society. So this is the enlightened stage. This is the stage where your relationship evolves beyond the boundaries of your family unit and goes out into the world. The two of you are called to give back to society. Pero pag naisip mo siya, neither of you would have been able to dream about this project on your own. So it naturally emerges as a result of your growing together through the stages. So when you go through the stages and you come to the final stage, you realize that it's not really all about love. That kasi yung love naman, hindi naman siya basta nawala eh. But the commitment to love, ando naman siya. Although, hindi na kasi siya commitment because it's already where you are able to accept each other and acknowledge each other. And what you have now is the common goal to give back to society. Ito na yung stage na at times, dito mo nakikita na may paths yung guy or yung dito na dumating yung mga stage na nagiging philanthropy sila or they create foundation and yet the partner supports. Kasi lampas na sila dun sa stage na kailangan talaga lahat lang romantic. Wala na sila sa stage na yon. So in this stage, remember that in this stage, you are working together now for a common good. Yung stage kasing to is really more of you have already accepted each other. Lampas na taga kayo sa stage na you still nag-aaway pa kayo, you attack each other about the flaws. Wala na kayo sa stage na yon. So this stage really is the stage where both of you still grows. Alam mo yung you still separately grows. Individually you grow, but combined you still grow. Parang you can choose your own path, your partner can choose his own path, but in the end you're still together to keep that commitment, to keep that relationship. So hindi na siya lahat love lang because you're already looking at the world in a bigger perspective and you're giving back now. Kasi when both of you overflows in that love for each other, your tendency is really to give that out. Wala na kayo sa stage na you argue at nagsiselos pa. Siguro may selos pa din, pero it's more of the companionship, the partnership, because you know you have transcended the stages, and it is now the time that God is calling you to serve your purpose as a couple. So, di ba, ang ganda na the time comes that both of you are able to really give back, give his give God's glory back to the world. Because yun naman talaga yung purpose ng family, to create your own, to keep the to keep a humane society. That's what we are working on. So if you know if you know which stage you are now, it would be easier for you to really have that awareness kung saan mo pwedeng makuha yung kung saan niyo pwedeng i-work out yung relationship. Of course, sabi ko nga, relationship is a work in progress. Hindi naman talaga siya natatapos. And kadalasan, uh, kadalasan hindi madali if no one is helping. Sometimes kasi madalas humihingi tayo ng tulong kung kailan malala na yung problema or malala na yung sitwasyon. Pwede naman talagang humingi ng tulong kahit wala pang problema, because in that way, you are able to discover what each one of you has or want, and what each one of you can do to align that want to grow together. So that's the stages of the relationship. You can take time to have that awareness and really work on what you can do to make it till the end. And sabi nga, all relationship has to have a strong foundation. So what do you need to keep a relationship and make it rock solid? On top of the foundation of love and commitment, there needs to be trust, conscious attention to your partner, and mutual respect. With these building blocks placed upon a solid foundation, your relationship will always be strong. Remember, when you use this roadmap in your journey with your loved one and apply these relationship tips, you'll build a rock solid foundation for your relationship and just maybe enjoy true love for life. Relationship includes not just your love for each other, but the core values that you both have to keep the relationship on a strong foundation. So, as we end today's episode, let me invite you to visit our coaching hub, Decaf Coffee Republic, located at Pioneer Center Compound along Pioneer Road, corner Brixton and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City, just across Bayanihan Center. Our coaching hub is open physically from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. only, but virtual operations is 24/7, and we offer coaching services on demand any time of the day, any day of the week. Please connect with Coach Rizel through 0917-586-1661 for your coaching needs. And of course, if you have you may connect with me anytime for you may connect with me anytime if you need help. Just you may contact Coach Rizel at 0917-586-1661. So thank you so much for joining me today, and see you again next week. That's on same day, same time, 3 p.m. Love Bomb Boom. Bye-bye.